Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So we continue our discussions, and today we will continue complete discussion on mantra 2, mantra 3 also, because they are quick to discuss, and then we'll also proceed with the next mantras. So before we proceed, in yesterday's session, we talked about how Supreme Lord is complete and also material world is complete. So what are the two facets of material world's completeness that we discussed? Two features of that completeness.
The two features are, Prabhu, that one is that in material world, Lord has given us all the facilities to stay in this material world, and the second is that He has given us the opportunity as human beings to get away from this the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease, and go back to God.
Very nice. Very well. That's the complete answer. Completeness feature. So complete arrangement to stay here, complete arrangement to quit this place also, like that. So we talked about this completeness through two examples. A material world was compared to two places or two examples. We talked about these two. Yes?
One is jail and second is hospital.
Very nice. One is jail and second is hospital. So yes, bro. When it comes to jail, what is a complete jail? And what is a complete hospital? Or maybe you answered, somebody else can answer. What is a complete jail and what is a complete hospital?
Reforming and treatment.
Yes. Where? Jail or?
Jail is for reforming and hospital is for the proper treatment.
What about the staying facilities and all? They are needed or not?
Better infrastructure. And all.
Okay. Yeah, in both cases, jail and hospital. See, jail and hospital, both, they give the sense of the material world. These examples are given for the material world. But sometimes jail is thought to be like a very tough place, right? So hospital is an example which gives the more compassionate aspect. Jail is also there, but jail focuses on punishment aspect of the Lord, while hospital focuses on His treatment aspect, compassionate aspect. So you can use both the example, but see which is the audience accordingly. If you are talking to prisoners, you say that actually whole material world is prison house. Here also prisoners only. Not only you are prisoners. And they will be, chalo, everybody is a prisoner. They are very happy like that. Everybody is a prisoner. So then you will talk about how to get rid. And when you go to hospital, then you tell them, everybody is a patient. What do you say? Only you are patient. Actually, everyone in material world is patient. सबको बड़ा भयंकर रोग हुआ है. क्या? COVID-19? नहीं. Bhava रोग. Isn't it? The disease of samsara, the disease of repeated birth and death. Like that. Kulashekar says no. What is that? No. Shatasandhi jarcharam kimaushadam pruchasi murdadurmate niramayam krishna rasayanam piba. So Kulashekar, he says that idam shariram parinama peshalam padatyavashyam shatajanti jarcharam kimaushadam pruchasi murdadurmate niramayam krishna rasayanam piba. He says everybody has this disease of bhava rog, and that's why we have material body. Having material body means we are diseased. That's the sign of disease. Which disease? The disease of material existence. So Kulashekar Alvar says, Kimaushadam pritchasi mood. Are kya aushadhi pooch rahe ho mood? Kya aushadhi pooch rahe ho? Antibiotic lena hai ke? Kya lena hai? Niramayam Krishna Rasayanam Piva. You can be cured only by one particular medicine called as Krishna Rasayanam. Krishna Rasayanam Piva. So that's the aspect of jail and the hospital. They carry different emphasis. Jail carries the emphasis of punishment. Hospital carries the emphasis of compassion and mercifulness of the Lord. So that's how. So how does a devotee see suffering and happiness in his life? We discussed about this. What is a devotee's attitude when suffering comes in his life or happiness comes in life? In context of this discussion, what do you say?
When it comes to suffering, he feels that the sufferings are for me to purify. And happiness is there because of my past karma. Still I am not qualified, but still Lord is very merciful that He is offering.
Okay. How will you connect it to the discussion of completeness? When you get happiness in life and when you get misery in life. Yes, Prabhu.
Everyone have same problem.
Yes, okay. Everyone has same problem.
We
I
have
am not the only one who is singled out. Okay. Something more additionally.
They come and go by themselves.
The problems will come and go by themselves. Okay. Mataji.
Because of my incomplete knowledge.
Very nice. Yes, that I was looking for that. Incomplete knowledge of the complete. If I get disturbed by misery or if I get elated by the happiness, that is due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. When I get happiness in my life, I understand that this world is complete and Krishna is providing me everything. Just as that is one aspect of completeness we talked, no? That Krishna has made perfect arrangement for everyone. So when happiness comes in life, we thank Krishna that He is taking care. He is showing the completeness of material world by giving me what I need. And when distress comes in our life, that time also Krishna is showing completeness only of the material world. But He is showing the other aspect now. What is the other aspect? The other aspect that this is not a place which you should stay. This is not a permanent place. Don't try to settle down over here. The real purpose of the material world is purify, as you said, purification, and then achieve the abode of the Lord. So it's a reminder in our life that there is some incompatibility over here. Our real position is in actually the spiritual world. That's how a devotee sees suffering. He doesn't देता हूँ थोड़ा सा गर्मी अनुभव करो अभी like that, and then you will say yes, yes, दुःखालय शाश्वतम, my Lord, thank you. This, so that's how. Actually, see, suffering, if we understand in proper perspective, it is good actually in a way. You imagine if somebody gets a disease, so then there are some symptoms which cause the suffering. Imagine some disease is developing inside terribly, but you never experienced any pain outside. Is it good or bad?
Bad.
It is bad. It's very deadly, no? अंदर के अंदर वो disease बढ़ रहा है बहुत, but you never experience any pain outside. One fine day, the person will be dead. So when the pain is experienced, then we realize something is wrong, and then we go to the doctor to take treatment. And then we take the treatment, and then we get cured. So pain is not bad. In the proper perspective, if we understand, it makes us to take the treatment. So similarly, when suffering comes in our life, no, a devotee, he takes the treatment. He takes the treatment all the time. But he takes especially more intensely the treatment. He says that, no, actually this is a place which is, I should not have illusion that I control the material world or everything is fine, it's wonderful, life's good. People say that. Even on the hospital bed, Prabhupada would say that. Even on the hospital bed, person is suffering and you ask him, how are you? What will he say? Fine. अरे क्या fine? एक पैर उधर है, दूसरा पैर टूटा हुआ है. That, but for you, I'm fine. Like that. How are you? How are you doing? I'm doing good. अरे good क्या? Right? But that's how living entity settles with everything. The living entity settlement goes on all the way, even up to hellish planets. There also, in hell, it's described in Purana. In hellish world, there is so much suffering, right? Continuously they are being beaten up, fried. You have heard hellish suffering. So, in between two sufferings, there is a break that they get. So, एक break होता है. This is from Garuda Purana. So, they get a break. And in that break, they discuss, how is life going on? तो मार खा रहे हैं ना वो लोग, वो सब लोग. तुमको क्या बहुत मारा गया? अरे बहुत मारा था. मुझे ज्यादा नहीं मारा, बट मेरा हाथ तोड़ दिया उसने. और तीसरा बोल रहा है, तुम लोग हाथ तोड़ा, मेरे को तल दिया भाई उन्होंने. ऐसे डिस्कशन करते हैं. तुरंत यमदूत आते बोलते हैं, चलो उठो, नेक्स्ट सेट ऑफ पनिशमेंट. थोड़ा सा मैं कमेंट्री ऐड करना हूँ अपनी, but more or less that's what the scenario is. So you see, they have settled in that situation also. इतना मार खा रहे उधर, because they get a special body. You are fried, but you don't die. Yatana Deva, it's called. It's a designed body where you get the pain, but you don't die. You experience the pain, but you don't die. Till the time that whole punishment gets over. Yatana Deva. Yatana is suffering, Deva is body. Body meant for suffering. So, what I wanted to say was, that's how you see, material world living entity settles with everything practically. Like that. So, a devotee sees happiness and distress in very, very proper perspective. Like that. So that's how we talked about the completeness of material world. And then we began with the first verse, which speaks about how we recognize the proprietorship of the Lord. So how do we understand that how the Lord is proprietor of everything? How can we understand? Where does Krishna say that he is proprietor of everything?
In Bhagavad Gita.
Where does he say in Bhagavad Gita? In Bhagavad Gita, एकदम बाण मार दिया हवा में. Okay, Bhakti which verses Prabhupada quotes? That
7.4 and 5.
very nice. 7.4 and 5. Those are the verses. Bhumirapo nalo vayu khamma. So Prabhupada has quoted that Lord is proprietor of everything. As soon as we say that point, we should remember these verses. And then we discuss logically also. Can somebody say, I am the owner of the land? थोड़ा रुको 50 साल, फिर कहाँ जाएगा? गायब हो गया आदमी, फिर दूसरा आके बोलेगा, I am the owner of the land. उसको भी रुकने दो थोड़ा टाइम, वो भी गायब हो जाएगा. So who is the owner of the land? Who is the owner of the ocean? So that is logical way. But we also quoted scripture as she told. Bhagavad Gita Prabhupada quoted. So that's proprietorship, like that. What examples Prabhupada quoted to tell that even nature, animals follow the quota system? What examples Prabhupada quoted? कि पशु तक कोटा जो है उसको स्वीकार करते हैं.
A cow doesn't drink its milk, but it eats grass.
Correct. Cow doesn't drink its milk. It's only grass. And does a cow ever eat flesh?
No.
Does a tiger ever eat grass?
No.
But humans can do anything, right? They can eat anyone and anything and anyone. Omnivorous, like that. So they transcend the quota. They not transcend, but rather they encroach upon someone else's quota, like that. So Prabhupada gives also examples of communists and capitalists. We talked about all that, right? various levels Prabhupada talks about quota. And finally we ended with the discussion on how to understand what is our quota, right? So what are the fundamental principles that we can understand in terms of who can understand quota? What are the basic things that understanding about quota?
Education of Varnashrama.
Education of Varnashrama, perfect. Very nice. So if you teach people what is Varna, what is Ashrama, so accordingly the quota understanding will become clear. To some extent. Yesterday then later we were discussing, after that also you need fine guidance on what is quota, right? Somebody may understand I am a grahastha and I am having this nature of kshatriya. But then now how much is too much and how less is too less, even within that, right? So quota for Brahmana may be different, quota for Kshatriya may be different. Kshatriya we talked about, king cannot come like a beggar. Brahmana can come like a beggar. In fact, if he comes like a king, people will think, is he a Brahmana or is he some upstart? Some person who is just pretending to be a Brahmana, like that. So, the quota thing, it needs education. It needs understanding of spiritual principles. If those are not understood, who will understand quota? Then everybody thinks that the whole world is meant for my enjoyment. So, my quota is whole world. Another guy also thinks my quota is whole world. And then both start fighting. So that's how it is. So first point is to recognize the proprietorship of the Lord. If we don't recognize it, then we see that the fight will go on. So now the next verse talks about if we live by this principle, what is the benefit? So this is text 2 now. Okay, together. Kurvanneveha karmani jijivishekshakam samah evam dainanyate dosti na karma lipyate nare. Once more. Kurvanneveha karmani jijivishekshakam samah evam dainanyate dosti na karma lipyate nare. Alright, who wants to read translation?
One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man.
Yeah. So we are talking about what is the benefit to live with Ishavasya principle. So what does verse say? What is the benefit? That sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. So the benefit of living with Ishavasya principle is one will not be bound by the karma, law of karma. Karma bandhan se mukti. That's the benefit. And that's what is the point of this verse. It is not talking something much more. This is the essential point. If you live by Ishavasya principle, recognize Lord's proprietorship and take your own quota, don't encroach upon others' quota. Right? So then we see that one will never be bound by the law of karma. But if someone encroaches on others' quota, then that is a problem. So, as the quota for different people may vary, but if everyone follows that, okay, this is entitled for him and this is for me, so then such people can live happily and they will also not be bound by karma. When Pandavas, Mother Kunti and Draupadi, they were living in the forest. So, whatever food they would procure, because they are living in the forest, they would make 2 shares of that. 7 people. but they would make 2 shares. One share was for Bhima, and rest all ate in the second share. Because Bhima, you know how he was, right? Bhima is known as Vrikodara. So Vrika is a wolf. So a wolf, it is said that a terrible fire is always burning in the body of wolf. That's why wolves are very extremely hungry. Always they are very hungry. Wolves especially. At least when they are hungry, there is a terrible fire. So in Bhima's belly, Vrikodara, a terrible fire always was burning. So Bhima was to eat heavy, very heavy quantities of food, like that. But then he was not only Vrikodara, Bhagavad Gita says he was also Bhima Karma. Bhima Karma Vrikodara. He would accomplish also very great tasks. Sometimes we are only Vrikodara. We don't do any Bhima Karma. You understand? Meaning, we may be eating a lot of prasadam, but after eating, our favorite pastime is to go to sleep. When I was staying in base, there was one devotee. वो इतना प्रसाद खाता था कि उधर ही सो जाता था. Where we are taking prasad, no, there only he would sleep. We would say, at least go inside and sleep. अरे प्रभु बहुत हो गया, उधर ही सो जाता था. He was like that, this way. So, all right. So I said to by Inchai, what this person, we heard Bhima Karma, Vrikodara, this person is only Vrikodara. So he said, don't worry. Today he is Vrikodara, soon he will become Bhima Karma. Like that. And sure enough, that devotee became so sincere, he is one of the temple leaders now. So it works wonders. Prasad means it works wonders. So the point, what I wanted to say was that Bhima had his quota and others had their quota. And it is understandable that this share goes to Bhima, this share goes to the Pandavas, right? So basically in life, everybody has got their quota, and if we live like that, it is said, Ishopanishad is saying, then we will not be bound by the law of karma. And it is said there is no alternative to this way for man. If you want to live without bondage of karma, then this is the only alternative. If we don't recognize this, then the next verse will speak about that. We talked about this, right? This verse speaks about the benefit. The next verse speaks about the loss of not practicing Ishavasya principle. So that's how. So what's the benefit? Essentially, yes? What is the benefit of following Ishavasya principle?
No bondage to law.
No bondage to karma bandhan. That's the essential point of this particular verse. So you see, Prabhupada speaks about these themes in this particular verse. You see, Prabhupada has written a purport. So can someone read these themes? Anyone else also? Let's participate by reading. Other devotees can also read. Yes, Prabhu, read the themes. P1 stands for paragraph 1.
How karma bandhana causes death, paragraph 1. Second, human life offers liberation through a karma, para 2. Veda lead ultimate to a karma, para 3. Being by bringing God into sense gratification in life, para 4.
Without God?
Without God, everything is in well, para 5. Make all
Altruisms
into karma yoga, para 6.
So those are the themes that Prabhupada is speaking in the purport. Okay? This should be lead. This is a typo. Vedas lead ultimately to a karma. So how karma bandhan causes the trouble, and how the whole Vedic process is to lead you to akarma, freedom from karma bandhan. Basically that's the verse. That's all it is talking about. So let's see now how Prabhupada is speaking these themes in his purport. Para 1, how karma bandhan leads to death. So who wants to read? Please read. from no one here, all the way up to this highlighted portion.
The living being is eternal by nature.
You can read this also. No one wants to
Okay.
die.
No one wants to die. Everyone wants to live as long as he can drag on. This tendency is visible not only individually but also collectively. In the community, society, and nation, there is a hard struggle for life by all kinds of living entities. And the Vedas says that this is a quite natural. The living being is eternal by nature, but due to his bondage and material existence, he has to change his body over and over. This process is called transmigration of the soul or karma bandhana, bondage by one's work.
Yes. So we see that in material world the living entities are bound by the karma bandhana, bondage. So we are aware of this concept called karma, right? So you see, the karma bandhana causes the bondage because of which one has to take body again and again and again. See, till the time karma is there, you will have to take the body. One has to take the body in the material. Only when karma is completely finished, then we transcend this world and then we don't have to accept body. So, no karma, no body. If there is karma, then there is a body. Material body. So that's why perfection of bhakti process is where we develop love of Godhead and there is complete destruction of karma. Otherwise, if karma remains, then you have to come back to the material world, no matter what. It will be like that only, this way. So someone may feel that, okay, karma is there, so you have to be in the material world. So in material world, meaning on the earthly planetary systems, there is suffering. Why not go to heavens? That is good, no? So if we go to Swarga, that is fine, that is good. Although the karma is there, but there the life is very enjoyable. So is it a problem to be situated in heavenly planets?
Yes.
Is it a problem or no? It's a big problem. Oh, interesting. What is a big problem?
Because over there the allurement is more compared to here.
Very nice. Wonderful.
You can get entangled very fast over there.
Yeah, wonderful. At least in the material world, we talked about that disease is giving suffering, and so one remembers that, oh, there is something problem in the world. I have to take the treatment. I have to chant sincerely. I have to serve Vaishnavas. I have to take the process of bhakti. But there in the heavens, first class. In heavens, they don't use oil. They only use surabhi cow's ghee. Not some vanaspati ghee or or not some palm oil or whatever dalda. Those days dalda was there. So they use surabhi cow's ghee. They cook only in that, and the demigods eat in that only. And what to speak of the beauty of heavenly residents, right? It's talked about so much. The fragrance, the beauty. It is mentioned in Puranas that in front of heavenly beauty, the beauties of earthly planet, they look like cockroaches. Just like cockroaches. And those heavenly damsels in front of gopis, they look like, rats and mouses, like that. The gopis are so beautiful, the residents of spiritual world, Vrindavan Chandra's beloveds. So, the point is, as you said, actually heavens is a big problem because there so much enjoyment is there, one just cannot practice bhakti. One forgets about practicing bhakti. There was one Khatwang Maharaj, you have heard of him?
Yes.
Khatwanga Maharaj. So this Khatwanga Maharaj, he fought a great war for Devatas. He was so powerful, although worldly king, he was so powerful that he was invited to fight in the heavenly world. Sometimes kings are powerful like that, right? So they were invited. So when he was invited over there, he fought a great war and gave Devatas the victory over demons. So Devatas became very happy. And they said, ask a benediction, मांगो क्या चाहिए, हम लोग खुश हैं आपसे बहुत, खटवांग। तो खटवांग महाराज ने क्या पूछा? Just tell me how much time I have, how much time in this body, how much time I have, because he knew that once you go to heavenly planets, the time, like, there goes very, very quickly. He had a limited lifespan and he has gone to heaven, so naturally he thought that he may not have much time. So he asked how much time I have. They said, you have only one muhurta. One muhurta is 48 minutes. That's it, 48 minutes. So they said, so what do you want? Apsaras or best foods of heaven or opulence, Nandan Kanan garden में घूमना है क्या? क्या चाहिए क्या? So he said, just by your mystic power, transfer me to Ayodhya. He was a king of Ayodhya in a moment. Immediately transfer me to Ayodhya. So he came to Ayodhya, immediately invited all the Vaishnavas, began the Sankirtan and left his body. That was Khatwang. So why did he not stay there? He could have done the same thing, no? He could have done the same thing there also in the heavens. Why did he not do? Because the atmosphere there is not of this Sankirtan and all that. It's just full of the bhoga, enjoyment and all this, like that. So that's why wherever you go in the material world, the bondage will always be there. Even in the heaven, there is so much of matsara, there is so much of envy. The fights go on in the heaven also, right? Yes. Indra, we see that all the time. Indra is attacked by demons, or sometimes Indra attacks the demons. Indra becomes envious, or some other person becomes envious. So the bondage in the material world is actually universal wherever you go. Abrahma bhuvanal loka punaravartino arjuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Shastras give example that, if somebody is chained, somebody is shackled, so you put those iron shackles, right? Very great suffering if somebody is put in shackles, like that. If somebody says, well, instead of iron shackles, I will imprison you with golden shackles. एकदम बढ़िया, मैं गोल्ड का शैकल्स आप पे डालूंगा, लोहे का नहीं. अच्छा है ना गोल्ड शैकल, गोल्डन बॉल ऑन द फीट, आप चल भी नहीं पा रहे, इतना सोना है. Like that. Is it good? Finally, shackle is a shackle, isn't it? Whether it is golden, whether it is platinum, or whether it is iron or whatever. So similarly, staying in these places, the karma bandhana, it continues. So that's why Bhagavatam says, Tasyeva heto prayate tako vido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyada tallabhyate dukkhavadanyata sukham kale na sarvatra gabhira ramhasa. So that's why Bhagavatam says, an intelligent person, he strives for that thing which is not available by traveling all over the 14 worlds. Even if you go all over 14 worlds, what is that thing that you don't get? That is what a devotee desires. That is Krishna Prem. Krishna Prem. The verse number?
158.
158. Okay, good. Veda base? Good. Yeah. So this is Narad Muni's instructions to Vyasa. Very beautiful. Yeah. So you see, this is what a devotee aspires. So karma bandhana, Prabhupada is talking how karma bandhan causes the death. So that is why human life offers liberation through a karma. So please read this. Any Matajis would like to read? Please give to Matajis.
Karma, akarma and vikarma are very clearly described in the Bhagavad Gita. Actions that are performed in terms of one's prescribed duties, as mentioned in the revealed scriptures, are called karma. Actions that free one from the cycle of birth and death are called akarma. And actions that are performed through the misuse of one's freedom and that direct one to the lower life forms are called avikarma.
Please go ahead.
Of these three types of actions, that which frees one from the bondage to karma is preferred by intelligent men. Ordinary men wish to perform good work in order to be recognized and achieve some higher status of life in this world or in the heaven. But more advanced men want to be freed altogether from the actions and reactions of work.
Thank you. So you have heard these three terms: karma, vikarma and akarma. Understand these terms nicely. Okay. Vikarma, karma and akarma. So, when we talk about these concepts, the lowest is vikarma. What is vikarma? Who wants to tell? You have heard these terms. बहुत अच्छे. शास्त्र जो है उसके विरुद्ध कार्य करना, जिसकी वजह से वो जो है पापमय कार्य हो जाता है. One becomes bound by the sinful actions. That is vikarma. So which is against the scriptures. Acha, what is karma then? शास्त्रों के हिसाब से कार्य करना.
Which please us.
Which?
Which please us.
Which pleases us. Okay. Good. I get your point. देखो भक्त भी तो शास्त्र के हिसाब से काम कर रहे हैं, तो क्या कर्म कर रहे हैं भक्त? तो फिर कर्म की क्या परिभाषा हुई?
When Krishna is not in the center of our karmic duties, then it is karma.
Okay. Who is in the center then?
We.
Okay, good. So, very nice. Karma is that set of rules or occupations where you follow scriptures, but Lord is not in the center. तो कौन सेंटर है भाई? भगवान नहीं है तो फिर either I am the center, my family is the center, my country, मेरा देश, right, मेरा देश, मेरी जाति, मेरा सब कुछ, extended sense gratification, whatever, that's all karma. Yes, bro.
When it comes to karma, you can also say that when Krishna is still in the center and still you are looking for fruitive activity.
Yeah, that will not be called karma. Yes, we'll talk about it. That will not be karma technically. Yes. So when we say karma, scriptures following becomes important. Krishna Krishna is typically not in center in the process of karma like that. So Baladev Vidyabhushan in his Vishnu Sahasranama, he says that Nimisha, Animisha. These are two names of Vishnu. So he says, when you do Shastra Nishiddha Karma, so Lord becomes so distressed that Nimisha, he closes his eyes. Oh, very sad. Vishnu. And when we do the service which is as per the Shastras, then Lord opens the eyes and glances on us with happiness. So here comes the aspect of following scriptures. And then the third one, which is the best one, what is the characteristic of this? Do we follow scriptures? Animisha. Nimisha means one who, Nimisha and Nimisha, these words are from Vishnu Sahasranam. Nimisha means one who closes his eyes. Animisha means one who never closes his eyes. So these two words are explained like that. There are multiple meanings of that. This is Baladev's meaning. Yes. Akarma. What about akarma then? Talk about scriptures and Krishna from this perspective. What would be akarma?
Krishna is in center.
Krishna is in
Somebody wants to raise hand and tell. Yes.
Krishna will be the center for all the activities.
Yes. What about scripture? They will be as per scripture or not?
As per the scripture.
Okay, good. So, as per scriptures, and who is in the center? Lord is in the center. Okay. So that is called akarma. So vikarma se karma bandhan hoga kya? Bondage will come or not? By vikarma. Bondage basically means where you are bound by the laws of nature and you have to then take another birth. So bondage will be there by vikarma or not?
Yes.
It will be there. Acha, karma will cause bondage or not?
Yes. Yes. It will.
How many say yes?
Yes.
How many say karma will not cause bondage?
sometimes or sometimes.
Sometimes? What is that sometimes?
Like if a person is service to his family or himself, it will bondage. Or sometimes he is doing worship of demigod, or they lead him to the service for the Lord Krishna.
Correct. Okay. See those are more specific processes. So, yes, in Bhagavad Gita it is talked about. Yes, in general, first fundamental concept we'll understand. In general, when we talk about karma, no? Will it lead to bondage or not? Yes, it will lead to bondage. See, bondage need not be always a bad bondage. It can be also good bondage. Quote unquote, good. For us, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, what is that? What is bhala, what is manda? Sab mano dharma. It says that for a devotee, what is good, what is bad. Whatever world says good is also bad only for devotee. Why? Because wherever there is no Krishna, it is all bad only. But we talk about at the karma level, bondage which is good, or you could say some the pious activities, the punya, it produces bondage which gives one heavenly planets and such things. But still, are they in the material world or not? They are. So it's a bondage. Is it good bondage? Finally, you are in the material world. We talked about that golden shackle. So this staying in the heavens is like that, golden shackles. And on the earth planetary systems and all, of course, we talked about the bondage, and what to speak of hellish planets or lower species. That is certainly a disaster. So here is bondage, here is also bondage. In fact, vikarma is a very deadly bondage. Either one goes to hellish planets or one goes to lower species, animal species and all. If one is very sinful, then one goes to animal species and all. In the next life. There comes the akarma. Will there be the bondage here?
No.
Yeah, so this is the point. So if you act on the level of Ishavasya, then there will be no bondage. That's the point of the verse. Ishavasya ke level pe. Kyunki you are recognizing the proprietorship of the Lord. That's the point. So there will be no bondage if you act. So naturally you will act with a desire that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord and I accept my quota for His service. This is not how a karma kandi thinks. Now let's talk about the paths also. Vikarma. Kaun sa path hai ye? It's the path of, did they follow some spiritual path? Vikarma is?
No.
वो क्या follow करते? They are the demons. They are sinful people. So they don't, they are atheistic, materialistic, sinful people. So they don't follow any path. Acha, karma path is demonstrated by which process? Karma kand process. Very nice. Karma kand process demonstrate the karma path. Yeah. Okay. Karma kand process. In karma kand process, what do? They do yajnas, स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा. और उसका पर्पस क्या रहता है? धनम देही, janam dehi, whatever, all further benedictions, like that. Like in Krishna Lila, there were these karmakandi yagyic brahmanas, and they were performing yagya. Swaha, swaha. So they were giving ahutis to the Yageshwara, Lord Vishnu. Swaha, idam Vishnave, idam namama swaha, idam Vishnave, idam namama. और विष्णु के ही भेजे हुए लोग आ गए उधर. Gopas, who are they? They are sent by Lord Vishnu. And Bhagavatam explains, when they came, so Gopas they went to the Brahmanas and said, excuse me. They just said, they looked at them like, who are these guys, Brahmanas looked at this. Swaha, go away from here, you kids, like that. So they said, we have come from, actually, Lord Balaram had sent. They said, Brahmanas respect Kshatriya, no? Krishna was son of Vaishya, because Nanda Baba. So let's talk that Balaram, we have been sent by Balaram. So that we have been sent by Balaram. They didn't pay any heed, the Brahmanas. And they are trying to do that yagya to please Vishnu and Devatas and all that. You imagine? What's the purpose? You forgot the purpose only. But the wives of those Brahmanas were first-class devotees. As soon as the Brahmanas neglected the Gopas went to the wives, Yagyapatnis. And they told that Krishna and Balram are waiting. So the wives became so ecstatic. Oh, Krishna has come. We have heard so much glory of Krishna. There were these cowherd ladies who would go to those Brahman localities selling the dahi le lo dahi, makhan le lo. फिर वो जाते थे तो उधर फिर वो गोपियाँ बोलती थी, आज पता है कृष्ण ने क्या किया? And then all Brahmanis would hear, अरे बताओ क्या लीला हुई आज? अरे क्या लीला हुई बढ़िया. So like that they had heard from gopis and they had become pure devotees of Krishna by hearing that. They were so exalted. So when they heard that Krishna has come, they just, for the yagya, huge feast was there. Like today, afternoon we had a huge feast, right? So many items and all that. Devotees are feeding me so much prasad here. My stomach has to work overtime. So I think I will get back everything. Once I go back, it will give me back the stomach. So I hope they will spare me for some time. So anyway, thank you for your wonderful reception. What I was saying was, yes, all these the Yagyapatnis, they took wonderful items on such ecstatic feast they had made for the Yagya. And, they just took everything and they went. They understood that, we are doing Yagya and the Yageshwara, the master of Yagya has come. And what we are doing here, swaha, swaha, we should run actually to please him. So they went, taking all these wonderful. And Brahmanas were saying, don't go. Yagya is not yet over. So they said, oh, forget it. We are going. So see, it is not like today's marriage scenario, right? Where husband says, hey, don't do this. Wife says, oh, forget it. I am going to do. That is Vedic. So once you disobey the husband, he will not take you back. So they were knowing this, that if we disobey the husbands, he will not take us back. But such was their love for Krishna. They said, okay, we'll be with Krishna in the forest only. We will live, no problem. If our husbands don't understand bhakti, devotion, then of course that is a pure devotee. It's a different scenario. What I'm trying to tell is the great devotion that they had. So when they went to Krishna there, Krishna became so happy seeing that devotion. So Krishna welcomed them, and there's a beautiful verse in Bhagavatam, how Krishna was twirling the lotus, like this in front of them. And with that twirling lotus, he was playing with the emotions of all the Brahman devotees. They became ecstatic to see Krishna, and they offered all the wonderful foodstuffs. Krishna and Gopas enjoyed everything. And then Krishna said, thank you so much for your service. Now please go back. So they said, where we will go back now? Our husbands, we disobeyed. Now they will not take us back. Krishna said, no, you go back and your husbands will not only accept you, they will worship you because you have got my mercy. And then when they went back, indeed, Brahmanas had realized their mistake. And they were saying, Dikkare, hi, humne kya kar diya? Sakshat Shri Krishna, he came to offer us darshana, but we missed it. Dhikkar hamare kul pe dhikkar hai, hamare gyan pe dhikkar hai, bekar hai. And when their wives arrived, then all the Brahmanas welcomed them and said, you have got Krishna's mercy, you are worshipable, like that. And they remembered Krishna's words. Yes, Krishna had promised this way. So you see, those Karmakandi Brahmanas, they show the nature of Karmakand. That's how it is. In Karmakandi Yajna also, because Lord Vishnu is the master, so Vishnu mantras are also chanted there. But the purpose is primarily materialistic. Typically those yajnas would be to please devatas and all that. So Vishnu is also seen as a devata there, oftentimes, like that. So that's basically karma and Karmakand process. So that exemplifies this aspect of karma. So typically speaking, in Vedic life, whoever followed Karmakand path, they would lead that kind of life of karma. The goal of karma would typically be that in the life you have enjoyment, Shastra based enjoyment, and when you go back, when you leave the body, where should you go? What's the destination they aspire?
Heaven.
Heaven is the destination they aspire. Karmakandi Brahmanas, that way. So that's the path of karma. And then finally comes akarma, where the destination that is aspired is what?
Back to God.
Yeah, it is spiritual world. Or akarma can also sometimes refer to jnanis who aspire for mukti. Both categories will come in this. Okay. Even jnanis, if they are aspiring for mukti and they lead a life of free from sense gratification, so then we see that they also become qualified as a karma. So these two categories are considered to be a karma category, the bhaktas and the jnanis, this way. But especially these jnanis are not the mayavadis. You have to understand. So at this point of time, I think I can tell you difference between a jnani or a brahmavadi and a mayavadi. You have heard these two terms? Brahmavadi and mayavadi. देखो, एक होता है ब्रह्मवादी. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट नाउ ज्ञानीज. भक्ता तो आप लोगों को क्लियर है, बट अमंग्स द ज्ञानीज यू सी वन इज ब्रह्मवादी, अनदर इज मायावादी. So what is the difference between Brahmavadi and Maya? Should I wipe this off? Okay. कौन बताएगा क्या डिफरेंस है? किसी ने सुना है? ब्रह्मवादी और मायावादी में से क्या डिफरेंस?
Brahmavadis believe in Lord Krishna, whereas Mayavadis don't believe in Lord Krishna.
Don't believe, huh?
No,
Don't believe, or
they think that they,
sometimes Mayavadis do Bhagavad Katha. Then how do they not believe? Huh?
like
You are close to the point. You are almost there. Yes.
they don't like they think like Mayavadis think that they are itself God.
They are themselves God.
Yeah,
What do Brahmavadis think?
Krishna is God.
Very nice. Hari Bol. So that's the glory of this assembly. That Siraj, who is how many years old? 9 years old, is answering questions, Brahmavad and Mayavad. Very nice. Huh? Let's analyze this more precisely. What is a Brahmavadi and what is a Mayavadi? Huh? Anyone else also additionally?
Brahmavad is basically everything originates from Brahman, that the effulgence. Mayavad is like everything is magic, it appears from magic. They believe, they don't believe in the God concept.
Okay. Yes, somewhat to the point. Yes, also. Anyone else? Kshitish.
Mayavadis say that the whole creation is everything is Maya, only Brahman is the real thing. They say that this creation is false, but Brahmavadis don't say that. They say that this is temporary, but the goal is Brahman.
Okay. What about the Supreme Lord? What do Mayavadis say about Supreme Lord and Brahmavadis say about Supreme Lord? मायावादी लोगों को क्या लगता है ईश्वर क्या है? Okay, आकार निराकार, something more also. Okay, yes, bro.
They will become ultimately like God. If they emerge from the love, they will also become supreme.
Okay, wonderful. That is a valid point. See, Mayavadi, Brahmavadi. So Mayavadi is the one who thinks that everything is Maya. Except Brahman, everything is Maya only. So ब्रह्मन को छोड़ के, मतलब ब्रह्मन यानी ब्रह्म, देयर इज वन ट्रूथ, हाईएस्ट ट्रूथ कॉल्ड ब्रह्मन. लिविंग दैट ट्रूथ एवरीथिंग इज माया. सो भगवान क्या है फिर फॉर अ मायावादी? भगवान इज माया और नॉट? भगवान इज माया, भक्ति इज माया, मटेरियल वर्ल्ड इज माया, डीटी वर्शिप इज माया, सब कुछ उसके लिए माया है. अ मायावादी. सो यू डू डीटी वर्शिप, उसको प्रॉब्लम है. आप भागवत पढ़ो, उसको प्रॉब्लम है. आप कृष्ण का कथा करो, उसको प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि वो बोलता है ये सब माया है. कर तो क्या करना है? तो यू डोंट हैव टू डू एनीथिंग, बिकॉज दे से वॉट एवर यू डू इज माया. देर इज ओनली ब्रह्मन दैट एग्जिस्ट, दैट इज सुप्रीम. So for them, even bhakti process and all these other processes, they are all considered to be maya. But a Brahmavadi is not someone who thinks everything is maya. He has clear understanding of Bhagavan. He has clear understanding of Paramatma, and he has clear understanding of what's that? Brahman. But what he wants to achieve is merging in Brahman, mukti. Just as this person also wants to achieve mukti only. देखो दोनों को मुक्ति ही चाहिए. Both of them want to merge in that impersonal Brahman. But one thinks that Bhagwan is a truth, Paramatma is proper truth, all are transcendental personalities, but I like Brahman. I want to merge in Brahman. His special attraction is for that Nirakar, that aspect of the Supreme which is impersonal.
That's for the Mayavadi.
No, that's for the Brahmavadi. Brahmavadi, he knows Bhagwan. If you ask a Brahmavadi that भगवान श्री कृष्ण के बारे में क्या कहते हो आप, तो what will he say, Brahmavadi? He will say Bhagwan Shri Krishna is transcendental. Krishna is transcendental personality. You ask him, what about Paramatma? Paramatma is transcendental. Brahman is transcendental. What do you want? I want Brahman. Although he has knowledge of all three aspects, but what he wants is merging in Brahman. It is amazing, no? Someone may be not able to conceive. How can this happen? Yeah.
तो उनको क्या उनकी सुप्रीमेसी के बारे में नहीं पता है?
वो भी पता है.
फिर why they want Brahman?
Yeah, so that is the speciality. Why that is like that? Because see, these people, they have got the association of such Brahmavadis or the particular impressions they carry from their prior life, where somehow or other they are attracted to only the impersonal aspect. उनकी आसक्ति एक पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट में हो जाती है. सो समटाइम्स लाइक यू सी association also matters a lot. Suppose someone is there, instead of getting devotees association, if he got the association of all impersonalists, so what will happen? Typically such a person will be attracted to impersonalism. Later, even if you give good knowledge to him about Bhagavan, Paramatma, तो भी उसका वो जो शुरुआत का टेस्ट है जरूरी नहीं जाएगा वो, it will stay. So these people are the ones who, although understand all three features, but still they have attraction for that aspect. And that may be because of various reasons. Like Shastra tells, one reason is because these people had, in their material relationships, they had very bad experiences with the form, with the relationships, with the dealings. So then they want no relationships, no form, nothing. It's a samskar. Shastra says samskar. उसके ऊपर एक संस्कार हो गया. Form is a source of trouble. Relationships are source of trouble. तो भाई ठीक है, भगवान तो सच्चिदानंद है, लेकिन भक्त तो सच्चिदानंद है नहीं, उसको लगता है. The whole process of bhakti and all that. So they feel that wherever there is involvement of relationships, dealings and all that, no, I want to stay away from it. And let me merge into that impersonal aspect of the Supreme, Brahman, this way. So these are very interesting guys, because they have the knowledge of all three, but still because of their previous samskaras, because of their association, because of the way they have cultivated from beginning, so they want to merge into that. But they will not say that Bhagwan is Maya, they will not say Paramatma is Maya, and they will never speak such a thing. What are the examples? Shukdev Goswami was like this. Shukdev Goswami, before becoming a devotee, was a Brahmavadi. Before he became a devotee, he was a Brahmavadi. Kumaras, Chatush Kumaras, before they became devotees, they were Brahmavadis. But once they became devotee, then they became ecstatic devotees, right? Shukdev also. Shukdev was a Brahmavadi. Otherwise, his father Vyasadev, he is the greatest, one of the greatest Vaishnavas. But Shukdev, as soon as he was born, he started walking towards forest. Why? Because he wants to meditate on that aspect of supreme, impersonal aspect. Although he knows about Krishna very well. But that's what, because of his prior background, because of the association that he had, so he had attachment for that feature. And Vyasadev kept on calling, Putra, Putra, Putra. अरे रुको पुत्र, कहाँ जा रहे हो? पुत्र काय का रुक रहा है? वो तो चला गया. Vyasadev practically was trying to follow him by running, but Shukdev, zoop, he went away like that. So then Vyasadev decided, इसको कुछ तो trick करना पड़ेगा वापस लाने को. I have to attract his heart for bhakti. So what Vyasadev did? Vyasadev taught few verses to his disciples, and he sent them in forest and said, जिधर शुकदेव दिखता है उधर गाने का ये श्लोकों. शुकदेव घूम रहा है तो आजू बाजू में बोलने के ये श्लोक. Those shlokas were very beautiful verses. Aho bhakiyam stanakalakutam jigam sayapaya yadapya sadhvi lebhe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam kamva dayalum sharanam vrajema. Who can be more merciful than Krishna? Putana came to kill him, but this person, such a lady, he gave the position of Dhatri in the spiritual world. Who can be more merciful? And then they also glorified other verses. Barha pidam natavara vapu karnayo karnikaram bibradvasah kanaka kapisham vaijayantim chamalam randran veno radhara sudaya purayan gopa vrindai vrindaranyam swapadaramanam pravishad gita kirtihi. So like these beautiful verses, they were sung around Shukdev. So you see the power of Bhagavatam. That Shukdev, who was a Brahmavadi, when he heard those verses, his mind exploded with ecstasy. He said, what are these beautiful verses glorifying Krishna? I have never heard them. Who taught you this? बोले तुम्हारे पिता ने ही पढ़ा है. Take me to my father. इसके लिए तो आए थे, चलो. So he was taken back to the father, and then father taught him the great Bhagavat Puran, and then Shukdev became the greatest, one of the greatest Vaishnavas, like that. So you see, how his transformation is occurring. Shukdev was transformed by the sound vibration. How were Kumaras transformed? Yeah, by the beautiful fragrance of the tulasi that was at the lotus feet of the Lord. Like that. When that entered into his nasika, like that. So they became, oh, what is this? We never smelled something like this. This is amazing. And then they saw Lord Vishnu has arrived there. So then Kumaras also, then we see that they became, from Brahmavadis they became the devotees. So you see, that's Brahmavadi versus a Mayavadi. Mayavadi is very offensive to Krishna, because क्या बोलते हैं मायावादी कृष्णा पराधी, मायावादी भाष्य सुनीले होय सर्वनाश. Why? Because they call Krishna only Maya. See, Krishna is the transcendental personality. If you call him Maya, you call him material. They say Krishna's body is material. They say whole bhakti process is illusion. Like that. So then such people, see, imagine it's something like this, that, some deadly disease is spreading everywhere, suppose. There is a huge pandemic. And a wonderful doctor is coming with the cure of that disease. So as soon as he goes to administer that medicine, then some guys come and say, hey, don't take this medicine, this is poison. This is poison. So now you see that fellow is about to die. Actually this medicine can save him. But you come and say, no, don't take this is poison. What will happen? Because now this will break the faith of the patient, so he will not take and he will die. So similarly, Krishna Leela is the greatest medicine to cure the disease of material world. And that Krishna Leela Vaishnavas, the doctor Vaishnavas, they come to administer the conditioned soul. और उधर आके मायावादी बोलता है, अरे ये सब माया है, कृष्ण भक्ति माया है, ये कृष्ण कथा माया है, ये सब बेकार है, इसको मत सुनो. एकदम कितना horrendous, it's a crime, no, for a living entity, because the transcendental pastimes of Krishna and all, that's the greatest medicine, but the Mayavadi calls it as illusion. So that's why Prabhupada, in his books you will see all the time he says this Mayavadi, and Prabhupada uses words like rascal and all, these Mayavadis, that when they see, Bhagavad Puran is for the devotees, right? For devotees discussion and like that. So they say Krishna is Maya, but in their Upanishad classes nobody comes. So they do Bhagavad Katha. They do Bhagavad Katha, which is a completely devotional book. So if you say Krishna is Maya, why you are doing Bhagavad Katha? क्यों? क्योंकि लोग सुनने को तो वही आते हैं. People don't come to hear their Upanishad classes and all that, right? People like Leela, people like Krishna Katha and all. So Prabhupada would say, if you are a Mayavadi, at least live the life with dignity. Don't do Bhagavad Katha. Prabhupada would say, you do your Upanishads Katha. What is that? Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Katha, 7 दिन का सप्ताह. देखो कितने आते. आपने देखा है कभी उपनिषद के 7 दिन के कथा में लोग आ रहे करके? आ भी रहे तो डायरेक्ट प्रसाद को जाते. तो कथा सुनने दो, बाबा जी सुनेंगे खुद. Like that. So Bhagavad is our scripture, Vaishnava scripture. That you want to come and do katha, and then you want to say that, well, Krishna is Maya and Bhakti is Maya. What you are doing there? So this is the point. So that's why Prabhupada would be, as soon as you talk about Mayavad, he would be like, very angry on them. Otherwise, we may feel, no, sometimes, because they also look like sadhus, they also are sannyasis, they carry danda. So someone say, अरे महात्मा जी है, बढ़िया है, प्रभुपाद जी इतना क्यों धुलाई करते हैं इनका? तो प्रभुपाद जी, why he is doing that? Because he is addressing the mentality. It's a very poisonous mentality. It will break the faith in bhakti process only. Once it gets inside, no? If person starts feeling, hey, this is all Maya, this is actually not the truth, तो फिर क्यों करेगा भक्ति वो? That way. So that's the reason. Yes, Prabhu.
So what is the conclusion of their Bhagavad
their conclusion of Bhagavad Katha is they will say that, see, for those people who are not very intelligent to understand the Supreme Brahman, which is impersonal, for such people, some basic, katha about Supreme Lord and all is given, So it is like, they say, it is vyavaharik, it's a conventional understanding of scriptures and all given for some less intelligent people. But who are very intelligent, they study the Vedanta, they study the Upanishads and all. And less intelligent devotees, they study Bhakti and all that. But because in Kali Yuga everybody is less intelligent, so we will also discuss, no problem. They say that. Let's discuss that. What to do? We want to sell diamonds, but people can only take bangles, so we will also give bangles. This is what they say. This is what is their idea. So actually, it just doesn't justify. Why do they do kathas and all that? There's just no justification for that. Because if you accept that process as illusion, why do you do that? But they say that, that meditation on that transcendental, impersonal absolute is very difficult and all. So, you can do this. By this you will get purified. You will come in sattva guna slowly. Then you become qualified for that. So they'll speak all such ideologies. You understand? So they speak such.
For example, I'm just trying to connect this with practical aspect. So when it comes to so many different Vaishnava Sampradaya that you've got, or Upper Sampradaya, are they to be called as Mayavas or Brahmavas, or they are supposed to be called as Vaishnava?
You are saying Vaishnava Upper Sampradayas?
Yes.
See, Upper Sampradaya.
We could see right now, there are so many different gurus,
Yeah.
gurus, they come up with their own.
Yeah. See, you will understand. You will have to take it by their ideology. You will have to see case by case. So you ask such questions to them. What is your understanding of absolute? What is your process? See, whenever you talk to anyone on spiritual path, ask two questions. Sadhya and sadhana. Ask, what is the ultimate goal of your process? That is called sadhya. And ask, what is the means to achieve that goal? Sadhya, sadhana. So by these two things you will realize what basically that path is. Like that. So oftentimes all these different people, we see that they may have some sort of Mayavadi tinge. Many of them. You little bit probe and then you realize, oh, this is actually Mayavadi idea that they are speaking. So this Mayavadi idea is this also, that I am God, you are God, everyone is God. This is also Mayavadi idea only, where they say that everyone is God. We are God. Why? Because they think that basically a whole world is illusion, everyone is an illusion. What exists is only the Supreme Brahman, and that's it. So it doesn't matter who we are. You want to call yourself God, you are God. You want to call me God, I am God. You want to call me donkey, I am donkey. You want to call me yourself donkey, you are donkey. Whatever. It's all illusion anyway. This, yes, Prabhu. देवी देवताओं के उपासक जो है, तो देवी देवताओं के उपासक जो है, तो देखो इसमें कैसे होता है, कर्मकांडी भी एक लेवल है ना, कर्मकांड, तो वो कर्मकांडी में आएंगे. ये तो हम ज्ञान मार्ग की बात कर रहे हैं इधर, ये ज्ञानी कैटेगरी है. देवी देवताओं के उपासक जो है वो कर्मकांडी कैटेगरी में आएंगे, राइट. तो उनका ऐसा भाव नहीं होता है कि ये सब माया है करके, ये सब बेकार है. ये तो हम बात कर रहे थे ये दो कैटेगरी जो ज्ञान वाली कैटेगरी में आते हैं. हाँ, ठीक है, समझ रहे. देवी देवताओं के उपासक अगर आपको देखना है तो वो फिर कर्मकांडी कैटेगरी हो गई, लाइक दैट. ऐसे समझ. Yeah, they do Bhagavad Katha.
But Prabhuji, like we think if we, without any purpose, we chant once Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Lord's name, Lord will accept in some aspects. But they are doing Srimad Bhagavatam. What about them? Or what is their last destination? They are not believing, they say everything is Maya, when they are not believing.
Yes.
So what
Yes.
is the last explanation?
Very good question. Yes, very good question. See, Sanatana Goswami says, Avaishnava mukhad girdam putam hari kathamritam shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochishtam yathapaya. He says that if somebody is a Vaishnava, Mayavadi is a Vaishnava, so he may be doing Hari Katha also, but that Hari Katha is like milk touched by the poisonous cobra. So now when milk is touched by poisonous cobra, do we say that, hey, after all it is milk only, no? Thoda poison, cobra ne thoda sa touch kiya, you drink it, no problem. ऐसे करते हैं हम, even though it is slightly touched by the serpent, oh, usko फेंक दो बाबा, you know, it's poison, you know. Why? Because that offensive, that poisonous aspect is so deadly, it spoiled the whole milk only now. The milk has become the poison. So what happens with Mayavadis? See, if we don't have Mayavadi mentality, someone may not be a great devotee of Krishna, that is okay. But mentality of Mayavadi is very deadly. That is the poison. Even if somebody else who is not great devotee like Srila Prabhupada, he is doing Bhagavad Katha, that's okay. But because his mentality is not wrong, that is very nice to hear Bhagavad Katha from him. But for someone who is having that offensive mentality, where he thinks the whole bhakti process is only useless, Krishna is Maya, every whole material world is Maya. So that's why Acharya says that it is like milk touched by the poison. So what happens to them? Well, because they think that Krishna's body is Maya, so Krishna puts them in the cycle of birth and death. So these guys, although all their life they say Brahma, 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 Aham Brahmasmi, but they don't achieve Brahman. They basically get material body again, because they say Krishna's body is material, Krishna is Maya, so Krishna puts them into material body. This is their destination, typically. So these guys, they get some benefit of, as you said, they chant Krishna's name and they chant Bhagavatam and all that. So that benefit Krishna will give only. But the problem is that poison aspect is so strong there in Mayavadi. So Krishna punishes for that reason. If you take someone else, if only that poison is not there, then you will get immense benefit of Bhagavat. But because that aspect is Mayavadi Krishna Paradhi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, no, Mayavadi Bhashya Sunile Hoile Sarvanash. Why? Because it's a very, very deadly thing. That's why it is being compared to the cobra. So we might respect these guys in terms of a general respect, but we know we should not hear from them. Absolutely we should not. So these days, with all the social media and all that, we have to be careful as devotees also. Sometimes we just go in the popularity wave. We see that, oh, this speaker is very popular, that speaker is very popular, so let me hear about them. No, you might be hearing a Mayavadi. It's quite possible. And then it's not good for our bhakti and all. So we hear from authorized representatives of our tradition, like we can read Srila Prabhupada books or Srila Prabhupada's disciples, or anybody who comes in the authentic tradition, we can hear them. Otherwise, sometimes we may not realize also that the person is speaking Mayavad actually, because we may not be that expert to understand. So then it's best that we don't take that risk. It's clear, Mataji, now?
Brought out that like Kamsa, Shishupal, they also did so much offense in
Yeah.
front of Lord, but Lord still gave them the solution.
Yeah, see, that's a special case, Mataji. Why? Because Shishupal is Jai Vijay, So they are actually Lord's servant. What about Kamsa? See, that example is to show the aspect that Krishna is so wonderful that if Krishna kills a demon, then he will give mercy no matter what. So if you are saying this Mayavadi should also receive that mercy, then Krishna should come and kill him. फिर उसको भी मिलेगा, no problem. लेकिन भागवत कहते हुए तुमने गड़बड़ की तो नहीं मिलेगा. You understand, no? Yes, so that's the power of Krishna. It is showing that you come in touch with Krishna. सूरज के टच में आ गए तो हर चीज शुद्ध हो जाएगी. लेकिन इसको मारने के लिए भगवान आएंगे ही नहीं ना. ये तो छोटा मोटा मायावादी है. भगवान तो कंस जैसे लोगों को मारने को आते हैं. That's the point. Okay, got it. I think we should move on. This topic is now let's. So karma, akarma, vikarma. You understand this concept now? So within akarma, basically, these guys also, they also come, Brahmavadis. But here primarily Prabhupada is talking in terms of bhaktas, the devotees. And devotees certainly are in the category of akarma, because the devotional service that does not put one into bondage. Whatever actions we do in bhakti, we don't get bondage because of that. See, same karmakandi, when he is, koi karmakand path ka hai, if he is working to take care of his whatever, family, nation, for that he has to do some earning and all that. So now those aspects are going to bind a karmakandi. They will give him bondage. But same things when a devotee does for the pleasure of Krishna and Guru and all, will they bind him? They will not bind him. It is amazing, no? आप बोलोगे ऐसे कैसे? वो भी पैसे कमा रहा है, डिवोटी भी पैसे कमा रहा है, लेकिन एक को बॉन्डेज मिल रहा है, दूसरे को नहीं मिल रहा. Prabhupada would give nice example. Prabhupada would say, when the soldier shoots down people, shoots down enemies, कट 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 कट, तो सोल्जर को लोग बोलते कि अरे इतने लोगों को मारा इसने, चलो इसको फांसी पे चढ़ाएंगे. A soldier is not hanged for killing the enemy soldiers, isn't it? Although he is killing. But same soldier, if he comes in the country, instead of border, in the country and starts shooting people down, क्या होगा? He will be hanged. He will be punished. So action is the same, shooting, but it is producing two results. Why like that? Somebody can say, no, और ये भी तो shooting है, वो भी shooting है, क्या फर्क है? What's the difference? Time, place, circumstance. Okay, more precisely. Duty. Okay, good.
Under superior authority.
That's the point. One is approved, another is disapproved, another is whimsical activity. You are killing, capriciously people. That is not approved. But when you are killing the demons, or killing the enemy soldiers and all, government has approved it. And that's why सरकार तो फिर उसको पदक देती है. वीर चक्र, महावीर चक्र, परमवीर चक्र, right? उल्टा सम्मान मिल रहा है उसको तो. So that's the point. So same way, a devotee and somebody who is on the path of karma kand, both may engage in the same aspects, but one is doing directly under the approval of Krishna, and another one is doing still under Veda's instruction, so that is fine, but still the aspect of bondage doesn't go away. That person will not go to hellish planets, but then he will go to heavenly planets and the bondage aspect may stay. And Vikarmi goes straight away to hellish planets. So Vikarmi goes to hellish planets, Karmi goes to heavenly planets, and devotee goes to spiritual world. That's the difference between Vikarma, Karma, Karma. It's clear? This is the aspect. All right. So that's how Prabhupada is saying here that a devotee, he wants to be completely free altogether from actions and reactions of work. All right. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has explained this Naishkarmya or Akarma aspect in 3rd chapter. You know that very famous section of 3rd chapter, 9 to 16. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara and all that. So Krishna is telling us, we follow the path of Bhakti Yoga or we follow the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga, then we will not get the bondage. So 3 paths you could say, or 4 paths basically, they don't give bondage. Bhakti, Nishkam Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. These paths don't lead to any bondage. But within that, Bhakti is highest because we are directly under Krishna's service. So don't worry about this concept, because in Bhagavad Gita I will teach you in this great detail. But for this matter, right now, why I am saying this is, see, Ishopanishad, when it says that follow Ishavasya principle, it is not necessarily saying that one should follow only bhakti. It is saying in this category you can be anywhere. You can follow the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga and be free from bondage. They also follow Ishavasya. You can follow bhakti and be free from bondage. That is also certainly there. Jnana and yoga, they will not be included in this, because those are paths where one does not work in society. One goes in forest and one stays there. So this verse will not exactly apply for that. So don't worry. What I am trying to say here is, just understand that Ishopanishad is telling that please recognize the proprietorship of the Lord and follow that in life. Then you will not fall prey to karma bandhana. Whether that path is bhakti yoga or whether that path is nishkam karma yoga, that is okay. That can be any path. But bhakti yoga is the highest, kyunki bhakti yoga seedha, it is done for Krishna's pleasure. So that path is considered the highest. All right. So Prabhupada explains this whole idea of vikarma, karma, akarma. Now that we have understood it, it's very easy for you to understand. You see, you read, someone can read this factually? Yeah, please read. Yeah, read.
No one has to do anything more than render devotional service to the Lord. However, in lower stages of life, one cannot immediately adopt the activities of devotional service, nor can one completely stop protecting works. A conditional soul is accustomed to working for sense gratification for his own selfish interest, immediately or instantly.
Okay, thank you. So factually, no one has to do anything more than render devotional service of the Lord. So what is this? Karma, akarma or vikarma? Yes? No one has to do anything more than render devotional service. तो वो क्या है? कर्मा है, विकर्मा है, क्या कर्मा है? अकर्मा है, right? However, in the lower stages of life, one cannot immediately adopt activities of devotional service, nor can one completely stop fruitive work. So one cannot stop fruitive work completely. So ये fruitive work यानी ये कौन सा पाथ है? Karma, like that. So a conditioned soul is accustomed to working for sense gratification, for his own selfish interest, immediate or extended. So what is this level that Prabhupada is speaking, that where one works for his own sense gratification? Follows the scripture, but one is working for his own sense gratification. Karma. So Prabhupada is just expressing this hierarchy, that you see, if somebody is not on the level of pure bhakti, Vedas don't say that, hey, chalo niklo idhar se. You just don't have any hope. Vedas say, okay, you can't practice devotional service. Okay, then you follow at least karma kant. All your desires can be fulfilled by the process of karma kant. You follow that, so that at least you don't become vikarmi. You become karmi or karma kandi. Both mean the same thing. So they are giving aspect of gradual elevation also. So you can be, one can be, if one is not on that level of bhakti yoga, shastras allow that also, this way. And then one performs that karma kant, and then slowly, gradually one may proceed to become qualified for bhakti yoga. By doing that process, one becomes slowly detached, and then one comes at the level one can do bhakti yoga. But if one can directly perform bhakti yoga, Should one take it or not?
Yes.
One should take it. It's like you can go via stairs or you can take an escalator. So what will you prefer? If somebody is a health freak, then he'll say, nahi chad ke jate hai, like that. But imagine that sort of scenario is not there. Then escalator, it takes you directly on the top. So similarly, Prabhupada is saying, why Vedas are accommodative? Because they want to make sure that everybody comes in the family of the Vedas. If you give only one choice, pure or get lost, so then there is not hope. So that's why these paths are offered also, other paths. See, basically we will talk in this in Bhagavad Gita, this whole aspect of yogas, no? Yoga, अलग-अलग प्रोसेस जो है योगा की, ध्यान योग, निष्काम कर्म योग, भक्ति योग, ज्ञान योग, we will see in Bhagavad Gita. They are there to address different mentalities. People come with different mentalities. So in order to address different people, Lord has given different paths. But bhakti is one path which can address all mentalities. So that's why we don't say that, okay, somebody comes with a very intellectual mentality, then we don't say, acha, intellectual mentality, aap gyan ka, you follow jnana. We don't say like that. Or first day, whenever in our preaching, people are going to come with material desires, right? So you don't say, material desires, karma kand. It's, go. No. See, when it comes to bhakti, it can accommodate everyone. It will purify everyone. Akamaha sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Those who with material desires, they came to bhakti and they got purified. Example? Boliye. Who came with material desires and got purified? Dhruva Maharaj, wonderful. Dhruva Maharaj came with a desire for great kingdom, got purified. What more? Any other desires who came to bhakti with material desires, but then they got purified. They got purified.
So give example of Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj, in the sense that he wanted the whole aspect of the devatas and all that. Okay, yeah, you can say Bali Maharaj initially was actually desiring for all those things, but when Vamana took everything, he surrendered at that point of time. Yes. Gita gives 4 examples. Artha, Jidnyasu, Artharthi, Jnani. So, you told the example of Artharthi, that is Dhruva. What is the example of Artha? Artha person, distressed. Gajendra. Wonderful, Haribol. Gajendra's example. He came with a desire to protect him from that calamity. But then, in his prayers, in that eventually he became so pure that he said, I don't care if you protect me or not. You just give me your remembrance. So Gajendra also got purified. Who is the example of Jidnyasu? Jigyasu? Oh, wonderful. Shaunakadi Muniz. वो शुरू किए ना जब भागवत सुनना सूत महाराज से, सूत गोस्वामी से, they were only inquisitive. उनको जानना था, अच्छा ये भक्ति और कर्म में क्या अंतर है? भक्ति श्रेष्ठ बहुत बोलते हैं ये लोग, सही में ऐसा है क्या? ज्ञान के बारे में क्या? योग के बारे में क्या? They had lot of questions. So they began with that sort of attitude in the beginning. But as they went ahead, they became devotees. They started loving Krishna Katha so much that in the first canto, last chapter, they say to Sut Goswami that as far as this sacrifice is concerned, we don't know whether it will give the result or not. One result is coming that our faces are becoming blackened by the smoke. Muh kala kar raha hai pura dhua. That one thing is happening, but we don't know it will give result or not. But they say, although our faces are getting blackened, but इस काले मुंह से आप हमें कथा का पान करा रहे हो. That is very nice. Like that. They say that you are feeding us the nectar of Krishna Katha. So we are very happy with that. So you see, they transformed. Initially they were asking a lot of questions, but later they are transformed, they become devotees. And what's the example of Jnani? Kumaras. Kumaras is the example. Shukdev is the example for that matter. No, Vyasdev is not. Vyasdev is Lord himself, Supreme. So you got it? So the point is, Prabhupada has given that hierarchy of karmakand and also vikarma, karma, akarma. But finally, bhakti process can accommodate everyone. So we don't have to direct people to other process because they are not qualified for bhakti purely. Bhakti can accommodate everyone. But Vedas give that provision. Within Vedas, that provision is there. All right? That's the basic purpose of this. So bhakti is so wonderful. In fact, Prabhupada says, you see, without God, everything is in vain. That's para 5. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna states that God-centered activities are so valuable that just a few of them can save a person from the greatest danger. Like that. So bhakti is so wonderful. Even if you don't complete it, still it is wonderful because nothing is lost. On other paths, it's not like that. On the path of karmakand, suppose you were doing some yajna and you completed almost 90% of yajna. And then some vighna came, some mistake came. So what will happen? 90% result मिलेगा, 10% नहीं मिलेगा. ऐसा होता है? नहीं. कितना परसेंट मिलेगा? 0% मिलेगा. Nothing you will get. That's how. In fact, you will get punished. Why you didn't finish the yajna? That is called pratyavaya. On the path of karmakand, it's like that. Pratyavaya mil jata hai. You did not complete, now you get punished. If you perform mistake, if you commit mistake, you will be punished. Like that. But on the path of bhakti, even if somebody doesn't complete, what happens to such a person? Suppose we are not able to finish our bhakti in this life. What happens in the next life?
Better family.
Yeah, so what births one gets by?
Rich family.
You have to tell by raising hand. Yes.
Brahmana family.
Or?
A rich aristocratic family.
Yes. See, if you have made great advancement, then you get birth directly in devotee family. If you have not made much advancement, then you get birth in Brahman family or aristocratic family. 3 possibilities are there. One is of great advancement, one is of not much advancement. If you do great advancement, you don't get Brahman birth, you get directly devotee birth. So those who are born to devotee parents, initiated devotee parents, they are extraordinary kids. We should protect them, we should nurture them, and we should very nicely nurture their devotion. Because to be born to devotee parents is very extraordinary fortune. These guys, you can say that they might be children or they might be coming to bhakti, but they might have done more bhakti than us in prior life. पिछले जन्म का उसका 90% है, इस जन्म में वो 10% करना है उसको. हम हो सकता है कि हम 30% इस जन्म में शुरू किए, like that, this way. So the point is that being born to especially initiated devotee parents is very, very special. So, and then if one has also made some advancement, then Krishna says that typically Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe, I give them birth in aristocratic families or Brahman families, like that. So that's why final Prabhupada is concluding. Please read this, Shri Ishopnishad.
Sri Ishopnishad advises to exert our energy in the spirit of Kesavasya. Being so engaged, we may wish to live for many, many years. Otherwise, a long life in itself has no value. A tree lives for hundreds and hundreds of years, but there is no point in living a long time like trees, or breathing like fellows, or begetting children like ox and dogs, or eating like camels. A humble, God-centered life is more valuable than a closer hopes of a life dedicated to godless altruism or socialism.
Very wonderful statement. Mark this statement. A humble, God-centered life is more valuable than a colossal hoax of a life dedicated to godless altruism or socialism. So, Prabhupada is concluding, you see, so if you live with this Ishavasya understanding, then the life is worth. फिर उस ऐसे व्यक्ति को he can live for hundreds of years, meaning that his living for hundreds of years is worth. Right? On birthdays they say, Jivet Sharadha Shatam. May you live for 100 years. But वो ईशावास्य प्रिंसिपल से नहीं जी रहा है तो वो तो burden है actually. Burden on the earth. So literally, who is qualified to live for 100 years? This verse is saying. Who should desire to live for 100 years? One who is following Ishavasya. If one is not following Ishavasya, then it is more like burden. Earth considers such people as burden on herself, right? I say. Otherwise, so many people live for so many years, right? Trees live so much. There are some trees in United States of America that are 5,000 years old. Sherman tree and all of them. So they were there when Lord Krishna was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, like that. But then Tarvah kim na jivanti, bhastra kim na shvasantyut, na khadanti na mehanti, kim grame pashavo pare. Shukdev Goswami says, if we live a life of ignorance like that, what is the use? We live the life of enlightenment. Better one moment of enlightenment than a huge life of ignorance. Bhagavatam says, like that. Just one moment of enlightenment. Shankaracharya lived for how many years? 32. Lord Mahaprabhu lived for how many years? 48. That's it. But what they accomplished in that? Of course, Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord. But the point is, Shukdev Goswami, he speaks to Parikshit. He had only 7 days to live. So he says, don't worry, Parikshit. Actually, the quality of life is important. What is the use of living for thousands of years with ignorance? Better you live for one moment, but full consciousness of Krishna, like that. So the point is, Krishna consciousness is life. If that is not there, even if we are living for 100 years, it is like the person is dead. That way. So one moment of full consciousness, this way. So that's how. So all these altruistic activities and all, someone may be rendering, and they might be at the level of karma kand or karma yoga and all that. But finally, the greatest welfare that you can do to people is that you perform a karma, you make people free from the bondage of the karma bandhana, this way. Otherwise, they will again enter into process of cycle of birth and death, this way. So sometimes for devotees, those who are doing social service and all, they will say, "Arey, you people should do something practical, right?" They say, कभी भक्तों का आपने देखा है, वो बोलते रहते हैं, अरे कुछ प्रैक्टिकल करो, मानव सेवा ही माधव सेवा, तुम लोग बोलते माधव सेवा ही मानव सेवा, like that. So, and they have this, do something practical, as if all these devotees coming and purifying their life is something impractical, like that. One time, one of the sannyasis, he had come to Bangalore, and he gave very nice class, and he spoke on this Manav Seva, Madhav Seva. So one man, he was a social servant, so he got up and he was like full in mood. He said, "Maharaj, you should feed people. Bhuke pet bhajan na hoye Gopala. Ye le teri kanthi mara." He said, "You should feed people." So he said, Maharaj said, "So we are feeding people. Those people who come to temple, we give them prasadam, full prasad for you also, it's there." So then he said, "No, but you should go out and feed people. Most important thing is food. We can take this luxury of talking Krishna Katha here, but what about food?" So he was like full, he had that. So Maharaj said, "Are you full? Is your stomach full?" He said, "Yes, it is." Maharaj said, do you chant Hare Krishna? No. So he said, if your stomach is full and you don't chant Hare Krishna, what is the guarantee that we go out and feed the whole world and they will start chanting Hare Krishna? Because your stomach is full, you are not chanting Hare Krishna. So he said, we do in such a way that we feed people and we also make them chant Hare Krishna. And then the guy was like, he was like really struck with wonder. Yeah, indeed, I may feed people, but is there a guarantee that they will chant Hare Krishna or like that? And then he sat with Maharaj later, he appreciated. And then later he started distributing Krishna Prasadam in his programs. Maharaj convinced him that you are distributing food, you give them Krishna Prasad. You can't just give food this way. So actually, we appreciate social service, we are not against it. But how much can you feed people, right? आप कुछ लोगों को कुछ खिला सकते हो, but can you feed the whole world? Or how much clothes you can give to people or whatever. See, finally, you have to see one thing also, that yes, these things should be given to people as much as you can, that's okay. But the root of suffering is the sin. So unless and until you enlighten people in a life that is of Krishna consciousness, they will go on suffering. आप उनको आज खिलाओ, कल खिलाओ, परसों खिलाओ, लेकिन अगर आपने उनके जीवन से पाप नहीं निकाला तो वो तो दुखी भोगने वाला है. No matter what. You want to do something good to people, you may feed them nicely, but if you don't teach them Krishna consciousness, after becoming healthy and all, they are going and doing fighting. They are doing crime. One guy, he taught internet to all the slum people. He said, these are slum people, I'll teach them internet how to use, and by that they will become advanced. वो internet सिखा दिया, so they started utilizing it for all nonsense purposes. So much so that it became a scam, big scam, like that. So, see, in order to help people also, you have to be enlightened how to help. Desire to help is good, but आपको पता भी होना चाहिए कैसे help की जाती है. If you just do blind help, it's not okay. You have to be trained to help also. The medical, you see any course, medical science, the students are trained for 4 or 5 years, and then they go into the operation theatre. कि first year में भेज देता है operation theatre में. Imagine operation theatre में first year का लड़का आ रहा है. Like, वो patient भाग जाएगा उधर से ही. बोलेगा ये क्या, इसको ट्रेनिंग दिए क्या? ट्रेनिंग की क्या जरूरत है? His desire is to help. He wants to help you do surgery. No, but which year? First year, right? No problem. So they will run away. So you have to be trained to help people. If you are not enlightened in help, वो help नहीं होगी, वो तो disaster हो जाएगा. वो scalpel लेके आएगा और ये that surgery, पता चला अंदर ही सब छोड़ के आया हो surgery में. So my point is, there is enlightened help and there is ignorant help. So the desire to help is very nice, we appreciate that, but we want to bring the standard of enlightened help, and that's what Prabhupada is saying here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So let's take a break and then we'll also complete mantra 3, because yes, as I said, there is a quick discussion on that. Okay. Today we are stopping at 8:30, right? We'll stop. हाँ, बोलिए प्रभुजी. मायावादी का उद्देश्य होता है कि उनको ब्रह्म में लीन होना होता है. ब्रह्मवादी का उद्देश्य भी ब्रह्म में लीन होने का ही है, मायावादी का उद्देश्य भी ब्रह्म में लीन होने वाला ही है. लेकिन उनमें से एक जन लीन हो पाता है, दूसरा लीन नहीं हो पाता है. कौन ब्रह्म में लीन हो सकता है? ब्रह्मवादी. मायावादी को भगवान ब्रह्म में लीन होने ही नहीं देते, क्योंकि ब्रह्म में लीन होने के लिए भी इस जगत के परे जाना पड़ेगा. तो भगवान के प्रति ऐसी गलत धारणा होते हुए इस जगत के बाहर कैसा निकलेगा वो? तो इसलिए वो फिर से दूसरा जन्म प्राप्त करके भगवान हो सकता है, उसने बहुत अगर अपराध किया है तो भगवान उसको नरक में भी भेज दे. लेकिन इतना तो विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती कहते हैं कि सुनिश्चित है कि ऐसे व्यक्ति फिर से जन्म मृत्यु के चक्कर में चले जाते हैं, मायावादी। ब्रह्म सत्यम जगन मिथ्या, करेक्ट, ये मायावादियों का वाक्य है। हाँ, तो आगे क्या कहना है आपको? हाँ, तो वो बोलते हैं ये जगत मिथ्या है, मतलब माया है, ब्रह्म सिर्फ सत्य है, तो फिर ये सब माया है, मतलब ये सब जगत माया है। वही सेम वाक्य है वो। ब्रह्म जो है वो छोड़ के सब कुछ माया है। मैं Mayavadis claim to be transcendentalists, but they are offenders. They are not transcendentalists. They are, yes, they are proper transcendentalists.
तो प्रभुजी जैसे ये मुस्लिम्स होते हैं जो
I was preaching in IIM for some 2 years in IIM Bangalore, and when I one time went to preach there, I met a Mayavadi from Varanasi. The student was Mishra, from Varanasi. We have Prabhuji, which is wonderful Mishra. But so as soon as I said I am here to give Bhagavad Gita, and he said, I am a Mayavadi. So I said, wow, you meet a Mayavadi in IIM hostel, at 11 o'clock in the night, that's the time preaching would begin. So I said, Mayavad has 5 different versions. Drishti Srishtivada, Eka Jivavada, Bimba Pratibimba. So there are 5 versions of Mayavad like that. I said, which one do you follow? Or he had never heard those things in his life. So I said, you probably don't know much Mayavad, because you are not able to tell which philosophy you follow in Mayavad. So I said, I understand more Mayavad than you, what it is. So then he started arguing and all. So he said, sit down here. So I also wanted that only. I wanted to sit down and argue. So we went back and forth and all. He said, everything is Maya. And all. So then we went back and forth and back. So finally he said, everything is Maya. So I said, am I talking to you? No, you're not talking to me. It's Maya. Are you listening to me? No, I'm not listening to you. It's all Maya. Is this conversation happening? No, nothing is happening. Only Brahman exists like that. We are not even talking. It's all illusion. I said, you are studying at IIM? No, it's all illusion. So you see, that's the extent they go to. So then I said, oh, good. So whatever I said, he was saying, no, it's illusion. Don't tell me to take Bhagavad Gita, it's illusion. So then I got up, and on his table, wallet was there, his wallet, and it had a lot of money. So I picked up the wallet and started walking out of the room. Hey, shut up, my wallet. I said, who is picking up wallet? It's all illusion. I never took the wallet. What is wallet? I said, wallet doesn't exist like that. No. He said, I saw you took the wallet. No, but I said, everything is illusion. What is like that? So he said, no, I need money, boss. You don't do that. So I said, no, but you just now said everything is illusion and all. And then he said finally, see, philosophy is philosophy, but we should be practical in life. So this is the worth of Mayavad. Practically it is worthless. It is useless philosophy practically. You only talk about that in books. सब कुछ illusion है, ये है, वो है, उसको 1 पैसा कम दो, तुरंत बोलेगा 1 पैसा कम है और बोला. So what you are talking about? If you are true to your philosophy, at least believe it. उसने मुझे बोलना चाहिए, जाओ लेके wallet. It's all illusion. But he's a hostel student, so naturally. So then I said, see, this is the problem. This Mayavad, it is practically worthless philosophy. So Bhakti is not like this. Bhakti, what we speak, Siddhanta, we also practice it in life. We believe it, we practice it, we live with that principles. Like that. So later that person was genuine. He actually started coming for the programs. And then he started chanting 2 rounds. which in IIM was a big preaching success. If you made somebody chant 2 rounds, with 2 years preaching, we had 5 people chanting 4 rounds, like that. Yeah, so 5 people, and all were like big intellectual gyanis, all sort of people. Yes, so some of them became very favorable to Bhakti. Yeah, like that. I was not a powerful preacher, so otherwise somebody else would have transformed them, but we could only do that much, like that. So that's how it is. So this is the extent they go to, you can see. Everything is Maya for them. You are not talking, I am not listening, this conversation is not happening. Bas Brahman, there is only Brahman. तो क्या फायदा है ऐसी philosophy का? एकदम. There was one disciple of Vivekananda called Nikhilanand. He said, Mayavad can synthesize between science and religion. Nikhilanand. So Nikhilanand said, Mayavad is the best philosophy that can synthesize science and religion. So Ravindra Swarup Prabhu, Prabhupada's disciple, said, why? This Nikhilanand was teaching Ravindra Swarup Prabhu. So he said, why do you say so? He said, because, see, science is illusion, because for us both are illusions. So that's the kind of ideologies they have. You can imagine. Okay, mantra 3, let's finish this. Alright, so what is mantra 3's purpose now? Yes? 3.
If we don't...
We talked in the second verse, the benefit of following Ishavasya. Now, the loss of not following Ishavasya. Vyatirek, exactly. Okay, together. Asurya namate loka andhena tamasavrita tamste pretyabhigachanti yeke chatmahano jana. Once more. Asurya namate loka andhena tamasavrita tamste pretyabhigachanti yeke chatmahano jana. Okay, please read translation. Yes, Siraj.
The killer of the soul, whomever he may be, must.
You are not able to see? Not able to see?
Must enter into the planets known as the worlds of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance.
Okay, thank you. So, follower of Ishavasya principle, what was the benefit? That the person does not get bound in karma. He becomes free from bondage. So, one who does not follow Ishavasya principle, Vyatirek, what is the problem? What is the loss? What is the result? They have to enter into the planets known as the worlds of faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. Asurya, Asurya Nama, meant for the Asuras. So there are these hellish planets, right? How many hellish planets are there? 26. 26 hellish planets in the 5th canto. It mentions. So, of course, there are more than that. These are the main. 26 are the main only. Full, more than that. There is a variety of sufferings, and that for that there are hellish planets. The main ones are considered to be 26. So, one who is not following Ishavasya principle, the Upanishad is calling him as killer of the soul. Atma hano jana. Atmaha, killer of the soul. तो भाई killer of the soul क्या होता है? Because basic principle of soul is nayanam chindanti shastrani nayanam dahati pavakah na chaynam kledayantyapo na shoshayati marutah. Can you kill the soul? But verse is saying killer of the soul. क्या meaning है इसकी? Who wants to tell?
He's not performing devotional service, so he's like dragging himself down the hellish.
How is it killing the soul?
Like,
Anyone?
Because
because that person is not working towards getting the journey to back to Godhead. So that person is all the time engaged in this vicious cycle of birth, death and old age.
Yeah.
And because of that, the soul is not getting transformed or not getting purified. So that is why it is
good.
called the killer.
Very nice. The soul is not getting purified because of being engaged in materialistic activities. Somebody else wanted to say anything more? Somebody was raising hand here, or the same thing maybe. Okay. Yes, very nice. Killer of the soul, Atmaha. This word comes in many places. This is a verse. Nridehamadyam sulabham sudhurlabham. All right. So decide this is a very important verse you should remember, or at least know. I'm just. All right. Let's recite this together. Nridehamadyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam gurukarnadharam mayanukulena nabhasvateritam Puman bhavabdhim nataret sa atmaha. Yes. Yes, please read the translation.
The human body, which can award all benefit in life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature, although it is a very rare achievement. This human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat having the spiritual master as the captain and the instructions of the personality of Godhead as favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his
soul. The killer of his own soul. So, who is killer of the soul? This is a person who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence, in spite of having a great facility. So, what is that facility spoken in the prior part of the verse? If you want to cross over the ocean of material existence, you need a strong boat. So, human body is compared to that boat. Then who is the captain of the boat? Spiritual master is the captain. What are the favorable winds? The Shastras, the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, you have a wonderful boat that can take you help you cross over the ocean. You have favorable bridges also. Those days they had these ships, right? Which they go with the wind. So if you have favorable bridges, they will move very fast. Yachts, like that. So, and you have an expert spiritual master also. In spite of that, if somebody does not utilize the human form of life for crossing over, such a person is called as killer of his own soul. So, as she said, see, basically killing the soul is not possible. It's not a literal meaning here. It is the meaning that for a soul, the service to the Supreme Lord is life. So, if you are not serving the Supreme Lord, then it is as good as dead. That spirit soul then will not get purified. It is practically suffocating, because you are not engaging in Supreme Lord's service. Because that's the life for soul. Jever Swarup hoy, Krishna Ranitdas. तो सेवा ही नहीं है उसके लिए, so वो soul तो suffocate हो रहा है, like that. So soul is suffocating. Out of ignorance, one may think that I am enjoying life, but the soul is inside suffocating. That's the point. So that's basically killing one's own soul, killer of the own soul. This is the point. You see Prabhupada here also quotes this verse. So Prabhupada also quotes this. All right. So coming to, you see Prabhupada's themes here. Please read the theme. Someone can read the themes.
Even the verse which quoted, I think day before yesterday.
Yeah, Nivrutta Tarsher. Yes. Yeah, very nice. Wonderful. Prabhuji quoted another verse which is 10:14, Nivrutta Tarshaya Rupagiyamanad. There also. Except for the killer of the soul, who will become indifferent or satiated towards Krishna Katha? So there is a one word there, Vina Pashugna. So Sridhar Swami splits in such a way that Vina Pashugna, Apashugna, like that he splits it, and that Apashugna takes the meaning as killer of the soul. That way. So very nice. So except for the killer of the soul, except for the butcher, कौन है ऐसा जिसको कृष्ण कथा में टेस्ट नहीं होगा? That verse is saying. Only a butcher or a killer of the soul, that fellow will not be interested.
Same slok Prabhupada quotes in Krishna books that first.
Yeah, same shloka. 10:14 it is. Yes, so please read the themes. We'll end this. Themes of this mantra 3. You can read? Yes. Who can read?
Who is the demon? Paragraph 1. Who is the soul killer? Paragraph 2. Liberate the soul, don't kill it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, Prabhu. Thank you. So you see, Prabhupada talks about who is a demon, then who is killer of the soul, and then finally he says, liberate the soul, don't kill it. So you see, who is the demon? Please read this, those who are cognizant. Yes, Mataji, please.
Those who are cognizant of these responsibilities and who work in that spirit are called suras, godly persons, and those who are neglectful of the responsibilities or who have no information of them are called asuras, demons.
Yeah. Whenever we talk about sura and asura, we should know the definition. Prabhupada quotes this line very often whenever we talk about sura and asura. You know